quote that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And I'm to this place now, and maybe it's just me in my head that there's a thing called unity, right? That the one doesn't have to defeat the other, because sometimes strategy destroys culture. If you really want to be honest, sometimes our business strategy says who cares about culture, and it ruins it. So this is the way I like to put it. What is culture? When I think of culture, it is three things. It's how employees feel, believe, and behave most of the time. The foundation is how you feel. Now, we as an organization at times, we try to control culture by controlling people's behavior and say, hey, you need to act this way. And the reality is why I act is an outcome of the root, right? So my behavior is the root of how I feel. And so we want to grow this culture. And I'm very passionate about this, if you didn't know. And so culture is how people feel, believe, and behave. How George feels determines how I will behave, and how I behave or what I believe then becomes my behavior. So feel, believe, behave. How I feel becomes my belief, and my belief becomes my behavior. And it's my reality that culture doesn't eat strategy for breakfast. Culture and strategy meets for breakfast. We have a business strategy, a sales strategy, a marketing strategy. Organizations that thriving, where employees really want to belong, have a culture strategy of some sort, where they want people to feel like they are part of something bigger than what they do, but it's tied to a why. And I think when it comes to recruitment, when we talk about bringing in new hires, we talk about storytelling that we were discussing earlier with Lisa. When we talk about all these things, community with Camille and all these things, all this comes together on how you make employees feel in the beginning. How are you interviewing that employee? How are they feeling in the interview process? How do you make them feel when you're bringing them to the table, whether it's a phone interview initially? Do you make them feel like, hey, I want you to be a part of this team? Or do you give them a feeling that, hey, I don't know if you're going to fit? You know, people have that feeling. It goes to what you said in that last thought, Ben, with that chair, is that employees now, when they get hired, new hires, when they join your team, they're making the decision within 5 days whether or not they're going to stay with your employee, your organization. And the reason boils down to culture. How do you make them feel within that first 5 days? All the core values, the marketing that you use for the hiring process, all those things come to light. The reality is that we see clearer now. We take the root of what it is initially. That first week, how does leadership make me feel? How does this team make me feel? Is it and does it align with what you say? Are the core values being lived? Is it just the core values on the wall? Are you living those core values? Are they a promise that you have, that you live daily in everything that you do, say, and believe? And if not, we're out of this place. And so a lot of those things tied to culture. So I want to encourage people, let's not eat strategy for breakfast. Culture and strategy can meet together.